Hi guys, and you're listening to the Me and My Thinking podcast, and this is our first episode. Hopefully we get to like 10 episodes if I stay consistent with this. I have to just do one once a week, so hopefully I can make some time for this because I want to see this grow. I love to yap, so yeah, and I think I want to be a good influence on the younger generation. I say this, I feel like such an unk right now as a Gen Z, but bro, I'm only 18, but like I don't know. I'm watching the younger generation these days, and I feel like things are screwed. I can't lie, things are screwed. And I'm not talking about like Gen Alpha, bro. I'm talking about like the 2009s, 2010s, like the teenagers, like 13s, 14s, 15-year-olds. The culture they're in is such an unsafe fostering type of culture for teenagers. And I mean that as, I don't know, maybe it's the start of social media and stuff, but people feel the need to like grow up so fast in this generation. And I don't know, I want to say, okay, if any girl aged 13 to maybe, I don't know, any girl age 13 upwards feels the need to grow up fast, you don't. And I seriously mean this as one of like the biggest, like, please, you're perfect the way you are, and you don't need to be like jumping into relationships and looking for a first kiss or this. I don't know why it's so pushed in this generation too, where it's like, oh, if you've not had your first kiss or you've not done this with a boy by this age, there's something wrong with you. And oh no, and it's like this type of thing. It's this like type of, I don't know how to say it, I don't know what the word is, but it's this type of idea that's pushed so far into people's minds that's the constant like fear. Like I remember when I was 13 and 14, right, I just gone to a British school from where I used to live in Saudi. In Saudi, like our school's relatively normal, so we didn't like have any of that. Like when you went to England, right, and everyone was like doing everything in British schools, and that was so strange to like go to, because I was like, is something wrong with me? Because I've not had a first kiss yet and stuff. But again, also, I wasn't ready for that mentally. I didn't want that because, I don't know, I've always never seen my worth connected to a man, to be honest. And also, I just don't think teenage love is something that should be aspired to that much, you know what I mean? And yeah, and even when I was 14, I mean, a guy did offer to kiss me, but I walked away, like, because I just wasn't ready, I don't think, for that. Like, and that was the thing, right? Even though for the past year I was like praying to God, I was like, let me have my first kiss, let me have my first kiss, let me have my first kiss. When I had the opportunity for it, I was too scared and I walked away. And I think it's because it's like this big thing that was like overhyped in my mind to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, like I haven't had my first kiss until this year when I was 18. And yeah, it's not worth the hype like that. I feel like people in this generation, they've made it sound like if you haven't got into a teenage relationship, haven't done this, and it's so pushed with stuff like the rice purity test. Why are people taking this at the age of 13 and like their score is lower than anything? What is going on? I'm not saying it's a bad thing, okay? If you're in relationships and stuff and that's completely bad and that's your choice, but I feel like the way society's pushing it is like we should all be doing everything at such a young age. We shouldn't be, okay? You should be outside enjoying your life, not worrying about a man, not having freaking, I don't know what people are doing at 13, but these days it's crazy, okay? Because I truly think, I don't understand where they've gone with this generation, okay? And then, like, you go on TikTok and everywhere you see, like, on people's kiss count for this summer, this and that. Why are we overhyping this, okay? Not only are you just making people who haven't had first kisses and stuff feel not less than, but, like, nervous and unvalid, but you're kind of pushing this idea that you have to have been with tons of guys to have any type of, oh, cool idea, like, aura in this generation. I don't like it at all because I feel like what's going to lead to is just going to be young girls who are 14 and 15, just kissing guys they don't want to even be kissing and getting with guys they don't even want to be getting with, just for the sake of saying they've done it. And once you do that, it's like a really slippery slope, because once you start losing yourself like that, you lose yourself in other ways. And I've heard it firsthand from people. The other day, some 15-year-olds talking about like who they were getting with and stuff, and it sounded like while they were happy and confused, they also sounded like they regretted it. And that's the thing, it's because people are so fast to just get with anyone these days. Say, look, I've got with someone. They're not thinking about the quality of people they're picking. And like, I saw this firsthand with my best friend, or ex-best friend, we're no longer really friends now, but yeah, she'd get with basically, we were the same age, 15, 16, but she'd just get with anyone, any guy that showed her the smallest bit of affection or attention. She'd run to them. And that's the thing, I think the reason I haven't had my first kiss in so long, it wasn't because there was a shortage of men, okay? It was just because my standards were that high, right? Where it was like, and to be honest, when I had my first kiss, it was at function, and like, let's be real, no one's really there at function. That's what I'm saying. It's because I wasn't overthinking it, right? Because when I was at a function, I was just having a good time. I wasn't overthinking it. I felt like at 18, I was ready to do that. the point is, okay, you don't have to have high standards, but you don't have to be giving in to every single man who shows you the slightest bit of attention. And I really hope younger women do know that they're just good enough by themselves, and they're allowed to be like divas and stuff, and like slay and stuff, and be queens and be young queens, but like you don't have to constantly be searching for a man to find that validation from society of, oh look, she's in a relationship, she's got a boyfriend, she's so grown up. You don't need to be grown up, bro. Growing up's not great. Okay, and then after you've had your first kiss, you realise after that there's not much more until you do more. And then you realise even that's not worth the hype, and it's just like this never-ending cycle, so it's really overhyped, to be honest, in this generation. I think they need to stop hyping up like this type of culture of, oh, let's all get with everyone. I don't know why. I'm not saying we should bring back purity culture, but I'm just saying lust seems to be like the biggest thing in this generation to just be taking over. And I feel like it's worse because you've got like social media these days where it's just like everyone's just getting love bombed left, right and centre, because it's so much easier to love bomb people on social media. And by that I mean a guy can message you anything he wants on social media, and it's harder to figure out how his intentions actually are because you're not seeing it from his face, bro. You're getting it through messages. So like it's a lot easier to love bomb. And that's where I'm like, I think people, they just need to maintain high standards these days, okay? Like, when you're looking for a guy, you're not looking for a guy, you're looking for a man, people. You're not looking for someone to play games with you, mess you around, make you feel loved, then make you feel unloved. Like, when people ask me my standards, my brother even thinks it's too high, but I know my standards. There's a person out there who fits my standards. I'm looking for, like, a manly man, or who just makes me feel protected, knows, like, how to show me love and affection, but also, like, at the same time, confident enough in themselves to be able to give me space and not constantly be trying to control me, because I don't know, what a good thing, right? I feel this is why every girl needs to just have a period of time in their life where they spend time by themselves. I love my independence now because I've been single throughout most of my teenage years, right? I'm happy to walk around by myself and just chill and stuff. And I love that type of independence and going walks by myself and stuff. I don't always need to be with someone. I'm happy with my own company. And that's the thing, I feel like everyone needs to experience that, so you're not always clinging to people. I'm not saying there's something wrong with being in relationships, I'm just saying the way it's thought after in this generation is just wrong. And then you've got young kids breaking another 14-year-old guys breaking a 14-year-old girl's heart. And then that 14-year-old girl goes and gets with another guy to make him jealous, but then the guy she gets with is toxic, so she's just getting hurt even further, so she gets with another guy, and it's a weird cycle that just keeps going on. And the guys are even worse, because the guys aren't even, a lot of just teenage guys, they don't care about women, like, at all, in that way. Bro, like, have you heard the new words they're using, bro? Huzz, bro, like, chuzz, huzz, whatever it is, fine shite, bro, like, that ain't normal, you know what I mean? Like, they're not even describing women as women anymore. It's not like, oh, look, I found a good looking woman, huzz. I know it means the same thing, but I don't know. And yeah, I feel like there needs to be more people to speak up online and just tell teenage girls to be teenage girls, bro. But like, there's enough, like, yeah, be a teenage girl, enjoy and stuff, but also remember who you are. Like, I feel like people need to look at the younger pictures of themselves and be like, would younger me be happy with the person I'm turning out to be? And if the answer to that is no, then change. It's not that hard to change, right? Like, I feel like everyone can change. It just takes acknowledgement. Even I, right? I'm not saying like I'm perfect and like, oh, I've never fallen for anything in my life. That was funny. No, I'm saying like, I've had a big partying era in the last year. I've partied a lot. But you know what you realise after you go to these places endlessly and you do all these grown-up things? You realise it's like a never-ending type of unfakeness to it, especially in partying. When you're in that type of environment, you find that there is such a fakeness to it. You're just making fake friends, fake connections, fake relationships, fake hookups. Everything there is fake. No real emotions are shown. You'll never speak to those people after maybe 2 days of that function or party. And once you realise that and you just start seeing it for what it is, you realise there's like very little point in going to these things because you're not actually building connections. You're just draining your soul. And that's the thing, I feel like soul ties are a thing, right? Like, God didn't make us to get with everyone. Like, that's the closest your body kids can get to, right? And that's like the thing. You have to have some form of connection there then. And I feel like soul ties are a thing, but people don't really believe in it. But I mean, I'm not like one for the delusional ideas, but I think it's true. Like, you're never meant to be that close with people multiple times, I don't think. It just doesn't make sense to me, but that's the thing. It's too romanticized in this generation just to hook up. I'm not even talking about the men. Some women I know too are, like, the men are bad. The men are horrible. Don't get me wrong. The men in this generation, there's some good ones, but a lot of the men I know, like in my friend groups, need to do better, bro. But like, even the women they're getting with are just as bad, bro. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not putting a good idea into like the younger generations' minds, I don't think, because the younger generation see like people 2 or 3 years older than them doing this, and then they're like, oh, okay, I can join in, do this. They're only 2 years older than me. It's just disappointing, to be honest. And yeah, I feel like people's standards need to be higher, you know what I mean? And even men aren't all that bad. There's some good men. I know there's good men out there because I've seen it firsthand that there's good men out there, but I also know that there's like two different types of men. There's like players, and you know, my respect goes out to some players because the players that make it clear to people that they're playing, right? You're making it clear to the woman that you're playing before you get with her. She knows you're just hitting and dipping. I don't even think that's the right thing to say, but like she knows it's just like maybe one-time things and then dips, or like yeah, it's not going to be a relationship. But at least you're making it clear, and she knows that you're getting with other women. That's why you can have some respect for a player. I can't have any respect for a toxic man. And I think the word toxic man in this generation has been like too generalized. By toxic man, I mean a man whose literally manipulation skills are up there, bro. He's got such good manipulation skills. He's taking these innocent girls who've literally never been through anything, because I've experienced this firsthand. Toxic men, they know innocent girls. They can see it, like, okay, I don't know why they can just sense it, okay? And they'll be taking these innocent girls through mind games, okay? Through message. They'll be messaging mind games, okay? And then these innocent girls will be falling for it because, again, they've never really seen that type of, not attention from a guy, like, yeah, who they've been attracted to too, because a lot of these toxic men are quite attractive too. I'll give it to them. They're attractive, but yeah, they're very toxic. And then they'll be playing mind games, like, I don't know, through the phone, trying not, because they want only one thing from the girl, okay? But the thing is, they're not going to admit to that. They're going to tell you they want a relationship and they want to love you in all the ways that you want to be loved. They're going to tell you exactly what you want to hear. And then the thing is with these toxic men, they're players, but disguised as lover boys, and it's so confusing because they'll be telling you everything you want to hear, right? And like literally sounds amazing to you, right? They're saying they're going to treat you right, this and that, and then you have to hear from some friend on the side that this man also has a girlfriend, and also on top of that, he's got like 10 other girls that he's playing with. That's why I have zero respect for a toxic man, because you're taking the most pure-hearted people who are literally looking for real love, who haven't done anything right with anyone, just for the fact they want to like find a pure form of love, because they still believe in love in this generation, which is really hard when you're just constantly around these people hooking up. And then you've got like these men who just look at that and say, how can I take this to my advantage? That's why I can have respect for a player, I can't have respect for a toxic man. And I think, yeah, also my first kiss was with a toxic man, and I wouldn't say I regret it, but I feel like people, if you're like age 18 and like you're looking to have a first kiss because you really just want to get over and done with, toxic people might be the way to go. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, I'm saying because you don't have to care, because once you know that they're playing, you can start playing them at their own game. But that's what I'm also going to say, toxic people make you toxic. Once you get hurt by a toxic person, and yeah, you experience that, you want to play them at their own game, and then you become exactly who they were to someone else, and I feel like that's wrong. I've never done that to someone else, but you know, that thought enters my mind. If everyone else is playing, why can't I play the game? Why can't I play the game because I'm better than that? They're all playing checkers, you're playing chess, mate, okay? Just because everyone else is hooking up and having fun and going around doesn't mean you have to. And I think that's a really hard thing to tell yourself a lot of the times, because hooking up is fun. I won't lie, it's fun. It is fun, but I don't know, it's also kind of soul-crushing, right? The loss you experience in the moment is fun, but then you kind of, I don't know, for women I feel it's different, because I feel like, at least in my experiences, when you like, I don't make out with people, get with people, you feel like you picture a future with them, or you can see them as like, not a husband or a boyfriend, but like, yeah, like kind of like that. they don't see you in that way at all, bro. Especially in this generation, it's just like one-time things and dipping. What is going on? Okay. And the thing is, I've done my best, and I'm still relatively like remain pretty good in this generation. Like, I've not gotten that far with anyone ever in my life, thank God. But yeah, I feel like it's just so normalized, and I'm just seeing these poor girls these days at age 15. I hear some of their conversations, bro. What is going on? These men aren't treating them right. They're losing pieces of themselves to these men, and they're just becoming broken. And the thing is, no one deserves to be broken. No one does, and especially people who have been treated right by everyone else around them their whole lives. They have the best souls, and then they're broken by these people who do not even care about them, but just feel entitled to go around breaking things. It doesn't make sense to me. I feel like I want if a teenage girl is out there listening to this, you don't have to try and keep up with everyone. It's really not worth the hype. Okay, I had my first kiss. I woke up the next day thinking, oh well, that was nice, but it was not worth the hype. Like, I don't know why I've been stressing for the past 4 years of my life about this. Didn't really kind of changed me as a person, kind of didn't. I was like, this doesn't really change anything. Like, it really wasn't worth the hype. And to be honest, yeah, I feel like everyone needs to find something that makes them feel happy in themselves outside of men, or outside of the opposite gender, and outside of socializing with people. If you can't be with your own company, you shouldn't be with someone else, because if you can't stand your own company, you're not going to be a good influence on people around you. You're not going to be good in a relationship because you don't like yourself. You're constantly trying to escape yourself. And that's what I found when I was in my partying era on today. I was just constantly going out, and it was so draining. It was so draining, because what do you mean? Half the time I didn't want to be there. Everyone there was fake. So draining the next day. I had no energy all of the time, so I was prioritizing everyone else. Wasn't prioritizing myself. Skip the gym to go out. Skip everything to go out. Like, literally, sometimes I just wake up and go out. And it was so tiring, exhausting, and it was like, why am I doing this? Because I'm just trying to escape how I feel. And that's the thing, sometimes we need to sit with our feelings, okay? And sadness is a big one. And I think I've been to therapy a bit to, like, I don't know, to just get some feelings off my chest and talk about like stuff, because we've been around a lot and stuff, so I just want to talk about that. And yeah, I was saying that I constantly feel sad. Sometimes it's quite hard to just like exist because I'm constantly feeling sad. And she said, why do you feel sadness is a bad thing? And I mean, I suppose she's right. Why am I constantly trying to run away from the sadness? Why don't I just sit through it? But the thing with me is, when I feel sad, right, it comes and goes in like waves. I'll be so real. Like, it'll be here for 2 weeks, it'll go, and it'll come back. And that's why it's worse, because I feel like a hint of happiness. I know happiness exists, but then also I'm constantly being hit by sadness. Like, right when I feel happy, sometimes nothing has to ruin my day, okay? It's like a really random shift. I'll be walking and like, I know it's coming, and then I'll start playing sad music because I can feel it shifting in my mind. And then the next day I'll be like down in the dumps, and that will last for a few weeks. And yeah, I'd like to say to people, don't go to parties when you know you're going to be emotional. It's just not a great combination. You're going to be there, but you're going to be emotional, and you've not dealt with those emotions. And a lot of the times, if you're not dealing with sadness, it comes out as anger or more sadness at the parties. So don't do it. Like, just, it's not worth it. What else advice would I like to give to this generation? I don't know. I feel like everyone needs to stop taking life too seriously. Like, bro, what is everyone doing? What do you mean people are constantly like, I just have to be out on, or people are constantly posting? What are you posting for? Like, I feel like the best things in life should be kept private, but everyone's always trying to get validation off everyone else. It's like you're posting 10,000 stories. Nothing wrong with it, but like, I wish people would sit back and like reflect on the reasons of why they post. Because a lot of the times they're not posting because they want to post. They're posting because they want to brag to everyone else about their life. And I know, like, that's like good for you, you're living this great lavish life, but someone else might not be. Someone else might be having a bad day, and they look at that and they wonder why their life can't be like that. And I know that's not necessarily the person who's posting's problem, but sometimes I feel like when people post, they're very inconsiderate about who else could be watching their posts, especially if they're just posting to brag. Like, bro, if you're posting to brag, why are you trying to brag for, bro? We know you live a good life. Congratulations. Do you want like a medal for it? Like, also men in this generation, I'm talking about teenage boys, men, and they need to stop. I think you guys need to get a bit of a grip with like your delusions. I can't lie. I know so many guys who are like players, right? And they'll be talking about how they want to get back an untouched girl. You think an untouched girl is gonna go for you, and I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm saying if you've been around with everyone, like the whole city, bro, Like, the whole city knows you. Like, everyone's got a story. Like, you've literally been with everyone and you're following like 10,000 different girls on your phone. And you've got like 5 different girls on the side. You think you're gonna bag an untouched woman in the future? Bro, I'm telling you one thing. As an untouched woman myself, I can tell you one thing, right? An untouched woman is not trying to bag a touched man, okay? I feel like actually a touched man is almost the ick for me these days, because it's like, bro, you've been with everyone that talks levels about your self-respect. I know so many people who just get with people to get with people, and that's what I mean. It talks levels about your self-respect, that you respect yourself that little that you're just getting with anyone and everyone. And you think an untouched woman who respects herself enough to abstain from stuff like that, even if they wanted to do things sometimes in the moment, they don't, because they have that self-control and they have that self-respect. You think that type of person's gonna get with you? I feel like men need to be awake. If you want something from someone else, then you should be doing the same yourself. You know what I mean? If you want to get an untouched woman, then you should be trying everything in your power to stay untouched. Maybe if you get in a few relationships, nothing wrong with that, okay? No one's saying that. I'm talking about the people who say they're gonna bag and marry an untouched woman, who are just out here racking up bodies, bro. No one's going for that. If no self-respecting untouched woman is gonna go for that, like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, if you're a relationship guy and you've racked a few bodies from relationships, that's understandable. No one's going for you. No one's attacking you for that. Women can understand that. Like, women, self-respecting women can understand people being in relationships. I'm talking about the people who ain't even in relationships. Hookup after hookup after hookup after hookup, bros, just making numbers, infinite numbers. And then they're the same people to hate if the woman's got like a body count of 2 or 3. Like, be so for real. Be so for real. I just don't understand it. Like, please sort out your own delusions, because a self-respecting woman isn't going to go for someone who doesn't respect themselves enough to abstain from that type of stuff and to try and not to do that stuff. Because there's 2 types of mindsets. There's people who try to abstain from it and like they abstain from it enough that like they're keeping themselves pure enough and like clean. I'm not saying purity culture should be enforced, but I'm saying like if you're trying to go for a girl who is like innocent and like self-respecting and high, you should be thinking, what do you think she wants, to be honest? Do you think she stayed innocent this long because she's let everyone she knows get with her? No. She's probably had tons of opportunities to get with people, but she doesn't go for them because her standards are high. So you gotta start thinking. I think men do. If you're out here claiming you're gonna be bagging these untouched women, how are you gonna meet their standards? Because, like, one thing's for sure, men are not the be-all and end-all of my life, to be honest. Like, if I don't vibe with your conversation, I'm a block. If I feel like you're love bombing me, I'm a block. If I feel like you're a man-child, I'm a block. And I feel like also, men who have 2 girlfriends on the side, what is going on? What is going on? And I've seen this so much in my friend group for some reason. These guys will have girlfriends in like different areas, and they'll be hooking up with girls within their area because their girlfriend's like, I don't know, maybe an hour or 2 away. Are we good in the head? And then they'll be asking the same girls they're hooking up with to not tell their girlfriend. And the girls will be fine with it, which is why I'm even more confused. Because what do you mean? You now know he's got a girlfriend, but you're fine with it. Like, there's one thing to be the other woman who has no clue that the guy's got a girlfriend. My heart goes out to them because they've been played around so much because they think the guy's single, and then they find out he's got a girlfriend, so not only do they feel bad about that situation, but they've also been messed around. But it's another thing to be the other woman and know he's got a girlfriend and still be getting with him for the heck of it. Not only are you just feeding his ego, you're also kind of saying to him what he's doing is right and that people will allow it to happen. I get so confused, and the men just need to do better. Like, do better, bro. If you've got a girlfriend somewhere else and you're begging these girls not to tell you have a girlfriend because you care about your girlfriend that much, then care about her enough to not cheat on her. Or care about her enough to break up with her so you can go around and do whatever you want to do. I just think, like, this culture we're in needs to stop. Like, people need to stop glamorizing this. People need to stop, oh, look who, like, I got fine stuff. Oh, look at this, I got the hers. Especially, I don't know, with men, bro. It's all about the hers and getting hers and whatever. Like, everything to them is a play. What are we talking about? Like, do you ever just want, like, a normal relationship with a person? And that's why I always think the best way to go for a relationship is friends, to a relationship, and I truly mean it, because I think the best time I spent with a guy would probably have just been walking around like the park and talking. And you know what? I felt more of a connection for him than I did to anyone else. And he's just a friend still, but like he showed me like what I mean is like he shows the behaviors of what a man would be doing. Right? That's what I'm saying. Standards should be high. There's people out there who know how to act like men. These people, everyone's socializing with and getting with their man children. Okay, especially here, a lot of them, that car they have, if they have a car and they're rich, most of them haven't even paid for that themselves. That's their parents' car, family car. They're driving girls around in their family car, pretending they're the man. Also, the men who are driving like maniacs to try and impress the girls. You're not impressing anyone. You're just scaring the girls in the back seats and the front seats of your car. Like, just drive safely. Why are we driving like maniacs on the road? Okay, other people's lives are at risk. Our lives are at risk in the car. Let's just use common sense. I don't know where common sense went with our generation, to be honest. It's just, what do you mean? That no one uses common sense these days, like, especially with girls, like, why are we trying to speed up in the cars as if we were in Fast and Furious? Like, it doesn't impress girls. A lot of the times it just scares, or when people, like, take both hands off the wheel and start scrolling, what are we doing? Bro, people are in your car, people have put their trust of life into you. Also, people who disrespect people's houses at house parties, what on earth? I think that's the biggest form of disrespect. Someone's opened their house doors to you, and then you've gone and trashed the place, and then you leave. Not only do you trash the place, you like basically party in their house and use their house, bro. People ate from my fridge. People did everything in my house, bro. What is going on? And then you leave. You don't even contact. Not so much as a thank you, bro. That's like, I feel like this generation is just a big disrespectful generation. Disrespect is just so normalized. And then you've got the people who go, well, you need to have an ego to get anywhere in life. Yeah, you need to have an ego, but you also need to know when to let your ego down a bit. No one's saying you don't need to have an ego. An ego means, you have a self-worth and self-respect, but people need to know when to not have an ego, and need to know when to be humble and grateful and thankful. And yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to this episode of the podcast, and if you want another episode, let me know, and I will be posting next week.